The Joe Rogan Experience.
So at 19, I'm in this comedy club, Greenbelt Comedy. It's a black room. Chappelle is on stage, and he's getting booed. And his dismount off getting booed is something I've never seen before in my life. It was fantastic. He's like, fuck y'all, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be famous. Like, he just kept saying that and then just walked off. And when he walked off, I was like, oh my God, they booed him? Like, in my head, I'm like, if they booed him, I don't stand a chance in comedy because, like, what just happened? But when he walked by, nobody wanted to touch him because he had that bomb on him. So even I was like, God damn, hey, man. And he had that sweet bomb on him.
That bomb.
Yes. And he sits down in the booth right here, and I just can't stop looking at him because I'm watching. You know how they say the stages of grief? Like, I'm watching the stages of, and I keep thinking, why doesn't he leave? And he's sitting there, and Tony Woods goes on stage next. And Tony Woods is like, wow, man, God damn. Like, just kind of a similar cadence. And Tony destroys, got a standing ovation, like night and day. And I'm just 19, just new, like absorbing this. And I go, what the fuck just happened? Tony walks off stage. And as a comic, I'm just kind of like eavesdropping. Like, I think I'm 5'7", but I'm fucking 6'5", but I'm just trying to like look at what they're going to do next. And they get up together and they walk out. I kind of just follow them out, thinking, I don't know what's going to happen. They're like, hey, kid, want to hang with us? I don't know. They get in the same car, and it's like, I think it was a hatchback, I'm not sure. And Tony drives off. I'm like, whoa, they came together. And like, that was all I knew of that relationship. And so, and I knew that Tony had been doing it a lot longer. And I knew that Dave, it's kind of like how when Kobe came into the league and was talking like Mike, and then Kobe leaned into who Kobe was.
Became who he is.
Yes. Yeah. I speak Italian, I'm speaking Italian. I speak like this. These are the things that are important to me. And so you watched Dave do that separate from Tony. But what I love about what Dave did, and this is why he's great, is he recognized Tony in his greatest like comedic moment. Like, it's the most honest thing you can do. You know what I mean? Like, most people would be like, I did this all me, but he was like, and what he said about Tony could not have been truer. You know what I mean? And so it just like touched my heart because I was there at the epicenter when I was watching Dave figure it out.
So in the same way that a car rusts or accumulates junk in the oil or whatever, similarly the human body does damage to itself. And again, just like a car or an airplane, the human body is set up to tolerate a certain amount of that damage so that we can get through to the point where we have kids before we start going functionally downhill, whether mentally or physically. But after that, evolution doesn't care about us anymore, and therefore we are only equipped to tolerate that much. And eventually the damage that's being done accumulates to a point beyond what the body's set up to tolerate, and that's when things start to go wrong and we start to function less well.
What is the difference physically between a younger person and an older person in terms of their ability to recover from the damage of just regular everyday life and exercise and abuse and running around?
Yeah, all that. So that's just one aspect of the difference between a younger person and an older person. So let me answer that question by stepping back one step.
Okay.
So the difference ultimately arises from what the body is made of at the molecular level and cellular level. The body accumulates various changes that are chemical and biological consequences of what the body has to do to keep us alive from one day to the next, even starting before we're born. And those changes, the reason I'm using the word damage to describe those changes is because eventually things don't work so well. So you're quite right that recovery from injury is one thing that doesn't work so well, but so are plenty of other things, whether it's how fast you can run, how fast you can think, how strongly you can grip something, how fast you can walk. All of these things become progressively less good. But the point is that the amount by which they become less good is pretty negligible until the age of 40 or 50. It's only then that the decline starts to accelerate.
So what do you do in your own life to try to mitigate that acceleration?
Yeah, I'm a really bad example of this. For two
Really?
reasons.
That's crazy, but this is your business.
So there are two reasons why I'm bad at it.
Okay.
The first reason is that I'm really well built. I'm just lucky. I'm just one of those hateful people who I can eat and drink exactly what I like and nothing seems to happen, and I don't even need to exercise to speak of. And, I'm biologically far younger than I actually am chronologically.
How old are you chronologically?
Chronologically, I'm 57.
How old do you think you are biologically?
Well, I'm told that I'm a good decade less than that. And this is what I get told every time I do these tests, which I've been doing for the past, 18 years. So that's pretty good news.
So you're lucky.
Yeah, that's
genetically.
Lucky, yeah. But the other thing is, I'm working hard to hasten the defeat of aging, and maybe it's a net win. Maybe the amount that I'm hastening it is more than the damage I'm doing myself by, for example, not getting enough sleep.
Here's what I didn't understand about David Goggins. The dude stretched for 2 hours.
Yep, every night.
But
every night.
I want to know this routine. How could you stretch for 2 hours?
He just does it. He doesn't have a job, first of all. He made, I don't want to say
I'm
his
sure
numbers.
a lot, yeah.
I don't want to say his numbers, but he made an ungodly amount of money on his book. And he doesn't even own a car. He goes, I'm a black Jew. I don't spend no money on no car.
So he runs everywhere like his video.
Well, his wife has a car, and he doesn't buy a car. He's not spending any of that money. Like, he's the real deal. Like, he's not posing. That's that guy all day long, 24 hours a day, and he's honest about every step in the way. He goes, sometimes I get up and I just look at my sneakers. I look at my sneakers for like a half hour. I don't do shit. I just sit there, feel sorry for myself. Like, I don't really want to run. But then it's that, fuck you, bitch. You're going to run. Run, motherfucker. And he goes, and then once I run, then I feel it. He goes, and then when I run, I get mad at myself for not wanting to run earlier. So I run more. Like, he's honest about, like, his vulnerabilities and his weakness. He's honest about who he is. But it's also, there's no question he's going to get everything done. Like, he's a complex individual. And I think because of the fact that he's so honest about all that stuff, it makes him even more intriguing. Like, he's honest. Like, all the pictures of him when he was drinking milkshakes and he was 300 pounds. And
yeah.
He loves showing those to people. He's like, that was me. He goes, that was me. I was a fat fuck. I was lazy. He's like, the first time I went running, I ran like a quarter of a mile and I was gassed out and I sit on the side of the road. Like,
but do you believe, like, in that book, he thinks everybody has that in them? Do you think everybody, not to that degree, man? Because that book was insane.
Well, I think it depends. I mean, everybody has that in them if you choose to act the way he acts. But a lot of that book is insane, and you learn, because I read the book as well. You learn from that book, and the audio book I would actually recommend over the
so
book
good.
because in between chapters he talks about all the different things that happen and actually elaborates in a more extensive way. It makes you go, holy shit. Like, his life was hell. His father was a monster. And he did not have a happy childhood by any stretch of the imagination. It was horrible. It was filled with torture and racism and strife and struggle, and he felt sorry for himself, and it was terrible. But all those demons, now he has those motherfuckers locked up, pushing the wheel. Mm-hmm. You know that iron wheel that Conan was on? Dum, dum, dum. They're in his head now, pushing his wheel. He's got those motherfuckers working for him now. They work for him. What was your first deployment like?
So my first one was with a team out in Hawaii where we were doing submersible work. So I drove like a 22-foot mini sub for 5 years.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And we were doing some like waterborne activities. And
how deep does it go?
That's classified.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it can go really deep. Yeah, but it's a wet submarine. So we're on scuba. It's all like you're in the water, not just underwater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're wearing scuba gear while you're piloting this thing. So the water gets in there?
Yep.
Whoa.
It's like you can probably pull up a picture of it.
Bro, that's a mind fuck on top of a mind fuck.
SDV.
Just being in a scuba is crazy, but being in a scuba gear inside of a fucking submarine.
With the door shut.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So.
How much air you got in there?
Enough.
That's what it looks like?
There she is.
Oh, that's nuts,
That's
man.
the boat.
Oh, so it's like a convertible.
No. So behind those dudes,
Yeah.
those doors are sliders. So you
Oh.
shut them, because it can drive relatively fast. Where like, if you had them open, like shit'd be like,
Bro, that
flying
looks
all over
like
the place.
something from a fucking James Bond movie. That doesn't even
It
look
is like
real.
something from a fucking James Bond movie.
That's
and like,
crazy.
When we train in the daytime, it is bananas. It is wild to drive that thing
I can only imagine.
because you're landing on the back of a submarine.
It's 22 feet long.
Ish. I mean, that's what I recall. but
Fucking A, that looks
can
cool.
see
It
it's-
looks fake.
it
Like
does
if
look
I saw that in the movie, I'd be like, they don't have one of those.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like a human torpedo.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a fucking missile.
It is.
Fucking
It's pretty cool.
wow.
So
That is wild.
there's a ton of those things that other countries have. Like they've been using submersibles since the First World War.
Mm.
You know,
when
so-
did they first invent submarines? Is that the First
Shit,
World
there-
War?
No. I think the Revolutionary War. There was a guy that like paddles ass around in a in like a
I've seen
like a
I've read
barrel.
stories
It's like
of
an
weird
oak
shit,
barrel.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy looking.
Wow.
It's like I'm just gonna go.
Well, imagine the first gangster to fucking climb into a metal dick and slide it into the ocean. He's like, I got this.
Even the guys that went the deepest did it like in the 30s or 40s, and no one's been able to do that again.
What?
They did it in
That's
some
right.
like weird.
Yeah.
Really?
And they had a window that was
sketchy
like
thing, yeah,
it was like
dude.
4 inches across.
Oh
and
my God,
I think
that's
it
so
cracked
crazy.
when they got to the bottom.
Oh,
like, they
no,
like,
really?
Oh shit.
Oh my God! You imagine what? Because nobody did it before, so it's all just calculations up
Yeah.
to the time you actually get down there.
And then you think like, back to your question, how much hair do we got?
Oh my God!
I guess we have enough.
Oh my God!